Okay, this is test height number 2, middle. So, I'm just going through the procedure steps. Make sure the left right's okay. I'll now engage that'll be the next one to wire up, and I've still got to do a whole lot more wiring and calibration. So they're okay. I'm just rechecking, making sure that's okay. Oh yeah, that's okay. So this back part get attached to the, and then once that's done, push that in and do it all up. In the meantime, I think I'll just have a little relax. Just let this play out. I've been sweating. Oh. Oh. I mean, how can one play the same music over and over and over? And I ain't saying how many times I listen to this, probably more times than you. I gave it a bit of a roast in the Blu-ray when it came out, so I mean, I'll probably give it a re-listen again. Re-watching and or mostly a re-listen. Because at the end of the day, it's still Apocalypse Now in outer space. But I'm sure it'll be a cult classic. So, just those are active at the moment. Those ones are switched off or turned off, so I can focus on what I'm doing. -17, crikey, that's loud. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I tried learning this. I think is it this Beethoven? I think it was this Beethoven. Yeah, I've tried learning it once on my keyboard. Oh gosh, well that was years ago. It took me 2 weeks to just sort of memorise the notes and where they are on the keyboard. I think it was this one, unless it was the other Beethoven song, other Beethoven piece. No, I think it was this one. I think it was definitely this one. I only got probably only so many of the notes, not the whole, the whole piece. Oh crikey! But the way the notes play, some basic notes, and then other notes overlap, whilst they slightly fade. Kind of decay, fade slightly, and then you get the other notes in, and but this piece is pretty cool. So I know that's okay. That's where, you know, it's going to be a very difficult fit to put it up here because of where the seating is. It is very awkward, even though when I get up, you know, up in the position, even on the step ladder, even it is awkward because it's so that's going to be, it's going to be a bit of a sweat. I'm going to be dripping with sweat after when I finish that one. And that looks simple. It's only a few screws to fit up. And then I'll do the back ones, or rather I'll do the middle one, the middle center, or I call it Dolby overhead guard. Well, you know, this Oro thing, you know, and this, you know, they talk about their VOG, you know, and then, you know, the whole thing comes from sort of like, well, you know, I don't like IMAX, and I absolutely still do not like IMAX. The idea, that VOG idea more or less came from the IMAX sort of thing, voice of God, which was the upper center channel, sort of like left, center, upper center, right, and then left surround, right surround at the back and corners, and then that was it. And then all that bass gets, all the lows get taken from that and put into the sub bass. So it's really sort of well, it's kind of a bit like a Limax really for an IMAX. It's not exactly got a real true LFE 0.1, have they? So this will be that's dog, woof woof, meow. Yeah, because it's a woofer, it's above, and it woofs, you know, like dog, woof. That just sort of came to me because I was trying to think of a name for it, and I think, what about Dolby overhead guard, dog? Huh. I bet this will really piss Dolby Labs off. See, they haven't got something like this. I don't think a dubbing theatre has, much less a cinema. And it's pretty good. It does work. Of course it's going to work, because I had this sort of idea and plan for quite a while, but only started to think, okay, I want to put it in now. And last few months I've still kind of been simulating it in my head, because I know how, you know, how it works, because, you know, basically it's height 1 stereo, height 2 stereo, and height 3 stereo. So yeah, think about it. And once I've got the other channel sort of like rigged up, see if there's anything, you know, anything maybe anti-phased that'd be steered somewhere else. Then again, there might not be, and it'll still be good, because it'll provide a nice ambient sound, different, you know. So I should have something here and here sounding up there, and it should kind of be all there sort of once I've got it all balanced. So it's going to be pretty damn good. And I think I'll be able to run the overheads maybe with 5.1 as a proper matrix decoding, safe if I want to do it from the front channels. But Nah, don't really. I really want to do it from the surround channels. Originally, how it was with, sort of more or less like how it was with UCI Tower Park years ago, where they had overhead surrounds on the ceiling, electro voice speakers, or rather they were electro voice in the auditoriums, all 10 auditoriums. The two larger ones had about eight of them on the ceiling, and the smaller auditoriums had a very odd number of 7, sort of like one, because the auditorium narrows towards the back. Yeah, they had one right at the back, slightly away from the back wall, so it was, you know, just a few feet away from the back wall, and they're angled, you know, just like typical common, you know, but just mounted on the ceiling. And then as you go into the auditorium, it widens out a little bit, because you've got the projection booth on the either one side of, you know, depending on what auditorium you go into. The smaller auditoriums were 1 through 4 and 7 through 10, and the larger auditoriums were 5 and 6. And as you go into the, you know, into the smaller auditorium, you get then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 speakers on the ceiling, and then another 3. So it was really kind of, immersive storytelling. And that was with a Dolby CP55 with Dolby A-type or SR sometimes, depending on the film print. I heard quite a lot there. Projected a few myself. Heard them, and that's kind of like a sort of pre-Atmos days, but not really, because it's, some cinemas have had overhead speakers fitted in the ceiling, decades before, and that was just so it just fills the auditorium, so you're just totally surrounded. Otherwise, what's the point with a home cinema? 5.1 is rather misleading. It's 6 channel, and your surround channels have to be made up of many speakers. THX sort of like really kind of brainwashed you lot out there, because they're thinking, oh god, no one's going to stick multitudes of loud speakers for surround channels, or speakers on the side walls and back walls, you know. So they think they come up with this dipolar, which is okay. The only thing is dipolar speakers, even still today, they're flipping expensive, and yet you can buy some JBL 8330 Mark 1s or Mark 2 for like way less than what a pair of THX diaper, and ain't these THX approved, and they have been tested in the real world, hard ass sort of stuff, if you know what I mean. And that's why I got the damn things, because I thought, whoa, at the stupid diabolical low price, I can't pass on that. Otherwise someone else is going to grab them. And there's still bundles out there, and they're in surprisingly good condition. If they haven't been thrown around or whatever, you can get them in some really good working order, and as you can see, they look damn cool. Oh yeah, that piece there, that goes in the void once I've finished. Oh boy, I think, okay, I've relaxed a little bit, so I'm going to get cracking on now with that, and then have a relax, and then I've got to do some See how I'm going to get my other third one up on the ceiling. I would like to get another JBL Control 5 Plus. But then I would have preferred Control 5. But since the Control 5 and 5 Plus are the same size enclosure except slightly different modification slightly, so they got an 8-inch base rather than a 6.5, and the tweeter range is slightly extended, or a little, or the crossover's a little bit different slightly. Generally they're just a little bit better, a little bit more sensitivity and on dynamic power handling and on frequency response or frequency range. I'm not sure if you can hear my voice. I'm not sure if I can hardly hear myself almost, and that's playing very mild. And that's like, that's like, well, let's just turn it down to minus 20, which would be something like on the Dolby fader it would be about I think about 3 on the fader. I'm gonna get cracking now, so get the next one up.